In this video, we're doing a throwback to Lighting 1 in that I'm gonna show you guys some different on-camera modifiers. Specifically, I want you guys to understand how to manipulate on-camera flash to turn it into something more soft, more beautiful, an on-the-go setup that you guys can use anywhere. It's kind of cool, it's kind of MacGyverish. Let's dive in. My name is Pi, and I'm one of the founders of Lynn and Jirsa Photography and SLRLounge.com. We're teaming up with Adorama to bring you a new series of photography tutorials called Master Your Craft right here on Adorama TV. So let's dive in. What's up everyone? This is Devin Zweck. You can find her on Instagram. She's our fantastic model. And I've noticed that if I hold my hand up, she just happens to randomly high-five it. You're about to. If you don't approach, like if you wave bye to somebody, she's just gonna give you a high five. That's just what's gonna happen. So check this out. You got your fancy new camera and well, the first thing that we start learning is kind of how to shoot with ambient light. We shoot, manual and we try and get over there. So I'm gonna do this. We walk into a scene, you could be shooting at your family reunion, it could be at an event, it could be just a friend, but we kind of start learning how to utilize natural light. But sometimes this natural ambient light just doesn't look good. Like we're in a room right now with these fluorescent lights, so if I go ahead and raise my exposure, and don't smile, don't you smile. Okay. So we have this image right here, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but the quality of your photograph is always gonna be dependent upon your ambient light, right? So then you're like, oh man, well, I just got this flash. And here's the funny thing. We made these courses, a 4-part series on lighting. The first one, Lighting 1, it's actually very in-depth and comprehensive. It teaches you everything about lighting, use your on-camera flash. So every image in the course was created with the on-camera flash. It's stuff that most pros don't know. So be sure to check that out. But outside of that shameless plug, let me go ahead and angle my light directly because next step, we just upgraded to a flash and now I'm gonna use that flash because I just paid a lot of money for it. If it's a ProVote A1, you know you paid a lot of money. All right, A1X, whatever. So I'm gonna leave it on TTL because we haven't gotten into lighting yet, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that shot again. Oh man, that doesn't look good. So maybe I need to lower my ISO and take another one. Let's try that again. And it adjusted my power for me and it still got me to a good exposure, but yeah, it looks hard, it looks specular, it doesn't look good. And believe me, those two things are different things, but we get that in the course. All right, so now you're like, but this thing came with this. This is gonna create a softer light. No, silly. Softer light sources are created with larger lights. But what this does do is it kind of bounces light around a little bit more, sort of diffuses it just a tiny, tiny bit, but it doesn't really do much. We still end up with a shot that looks like it's been flashed. So then you're like, yeah, but what about things like the MagMod? I can't even, man, they build those magnets in good. Like a MagMod sphere, right? Well, this is larger, so it should create a softer light. I don't have the grip on. I'm just gonna hold it. Okay, Devin, you're rocking that. That expression is just, I don't know how you do that. It's like the exact same expression every single time. So again, nothing's really happened. We have the same specular highlights. We have the same hard edge on the light. It got a little more yellow because this thing is dirty. Don't ask me where it's been. So then we're like, well, what about this guy? And by the way, I'm using these because there's tons of different similar things on the market, right? There's the Gary Fong sphere. There's all these different objects that will modify light. And if you don't know kind of exactly what these things do before you get them, you end up buying a lot of things and wasting a lot of money on them. So now I have the Mag Bounce. It's not to say that they're bad, it's to say that we don't quite understand lighting and lighting effects and how things work. So I'm gonna hold this above this just like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that same shot again. And here it got a little better actually. It brought the shadow up a little bit. It's a slightly softer light, slightly less specular. That's because it's a bit larger than everything else, right? So it's a little bit better, but still we can get to an even better place, honestly, just using the objects around you. So here's what I'm gonna say. Find a ceiling or something that is white or neutral in color, something you can bounce light off of. Now I'm gonna go ahead and simulate this with a scrim. Because if you actually have a 5-in-1, just a standard reflector like this guy, and all I'm gonna do is place this right above Devin. Now I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, oh, but Pi, We don't have a stand that can hold it up. Then find bookcases. And I'm gonna show you another trick in just a moment, but just calm yourself. Find a ceiling that's neutral, find something you can do automatically, or if not, use a scrim. Because what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna go ahead and angle this up into this light, and we're gonna create our own butterfly light. That is when the light's coming straight down like this. So now I'm gonna flip to manual, because all pros shoot manual. Devin knows this. I wanna make sure I'm filling out the entire reflector with light. So the ideal distance between a ceiling or between this and a modifier is just enough where you can fill the entire thing out with light so it becomes a larger light source. So we're gonna bounce up. This is about like 1/8 power on a flash, and we're gonna fire this right off the top. Now, when you compare this to our very first set of shots, our direct flash, it looks so much better. Look at how soft the light is and how much more diffuse it is compared to our previous shots. Now, for all those that are like, but I don't have a stand to hold that. Well, okay, fair enough. So you're at an event. I'm gonna lower this without hitting either of us. That might be a feat that I'm unable to do. So now you're at a wedding or an event, or you're just out working, or you're doing whatever. But I have a scrim, okay? I have a scrim and I have my on-camera flash. What I can do is actually just place this over my head. Now you're like, but Pi, I don't have 20 bucks to buy a scrim. Well, freaking go grab one of your friends that has a white shirt. She's got white pants on. If she was on my shoot, I'd just put her right here next to me. I just fire off I'm serious. You can actually fire off of white clothing. It works the exact same way. So all I'm gonna do now is while I'm holding this, I'm gonna place it up and over my head, hold it with one hand, and I'm gonna make sure my flash is kind of angled backwards. I'm gonna fire just right into the reflector. One try. Drop the camera. Just kidding. You freaked out, didn't you? Look, this is so much better than our direct flash shot. It's so much better than the ambient light, and you can do this simply by yourself. Practice it, it's very easy to do. And if you don't have a scrim with you, then just find a white object. If someone's wearing a white t-shirt, it'll work. This bounce technique is gonna save your life when you're shooting in situations and you don't have the ideal equipment, the ideal scenarios, the ideal everything. You're gonna thank me for it. Right, Devin? See, I told you. As soon as there's a hand up in the air, she just high fives it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Again, you guys can follow Devin at DevinZweck on Instagram. You guys can follow me at Jirsa. If you guys enjoyed this, look, lighting 1 is not a fundamentals course, and lighting 2, 3, and 4, it's everything you need to know to take professional images, regardless of what your goals are in photography. So check those out on SLRLoungeworkshops.com. In the meanwhile, it's a lot of words. Subscribe to the channel. They should subscribe, right? Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Give us a thumbs up. Comment below. Tell us you want to see Devin again. Tell us you don't want to see me anymore. That's fine. I'm going to be. Bye. Devin, you finish it. You speeding? Okay, think fast.